everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a little while since I've done a video actually because some of the previous videos I had kind of pre-filmed and was just putting them together and filming little clips and stuff. So yeah, it feels really weird actually doing a video. I'm so sorry for being absent and not really making regular videos. I've got exams coming up over the next couple of weeks, so I probably won't have my haul video up at the same time as I usually would. So you can probably expect that sort of mid-May time. I hope that's okay, but I'm going to try and get this video up for the 1st of May, just before my exams start because I'm on study leave now. And then yeah, my haul video will be a little later, and then hopefully I'll be back to at least one video a week. So yeah, I'm going to get started and share my completed pages and then what I hope to colour in May, and that includes some whips as well. That would be easier doing it like that rather than showing the whips and then showing them again anyway. So I managed to complete quite a few pictures actually because it was the Easter holidays for the majority of April. So even though I did have lots of work to do, you know, it was the holidays for a good 2 weeks. So that was really lovely, and we went away to Devon and had such a great time, and yeah, really enjoyed the pictures that I did. So the first page is from Symphony of Cute Animals by Kaneko Agusa. This was a buddy colour with my wonderful friend Effie, who is Effie Colours on Instagram. I always love doing buddy colours with her, and yeah, this was a lot of fun. So this was actually part of a challenge video that I did, which is up on my channel, and my cousin Rosie and we decided to do this video where she would randomly pick features of, you know, things that I should include in a page. It was randomly picked, the pencils were picked, you know, things like that. It was a really fun video to do. We filmed it ages ago, back in October I think, and I only just got round to it because I thought I might as well save it for Easter time, springtime. And so this was inspired by Peter Rabbit, and I explained in the video a lot about what I used and how I went about doing it, but this was mostly with Arteza pencils. I did use some Holbein because that was the brief, but actually when I came to the page I just really wanted to use Artezas because I hadn't used them in a while. I started with the background, did a pastel base, and then did my cloud stencil effect, and I'm aware I haven't got around to doing my video tutorial for that yet. I'm really sorry. I will get round to that because I've had a couple of requests. And then yeah, the only embellishment I used was white gel pens. So the option that I had was to use any gel pens, but I decided to just use white gel pen. I did also use some fine liner. So these flowers that I'm really pleased with mostly have a dark purple fine liner as the background, and then in the foreground I've got lighter fine liner with some pencil and white gel pen. But yeah, it didn't take that long because I used Derwent blender pens for most of it, which worked really well on this paper. Actually, I was a little bit worried that it, you know, they'd seep through and wouldn't work, but they did work really well. And once I started on this page, it didn't take very long at all. So it was one of those that I kind of just did quite quickly, which was fun. So now I've got 2 of the spring Easter type pictures done in this book. I'm really pleased about that. And yeah, I had a lot of fun, and Effie's picture was absolutely gorgeous, and we both were inspired by Peter Rabbit to do this page. But I love what she did. She added the blue top actually on the rabbit here so that it looked like Peter Rabbit. I did it on the scarecrow because he hasn't taken the top yet. That's how I interpreted it anyway, and yeah, really pleased with it. So there's that one. My next page was an Easter page. A few of the pages are spring Easter pictures and then a couple aren't. So I am a seasonal colourist, but I never restrict myself just to, you know, if there's something coming up. Like if I'm doing Christmas pages, you know, for November, December, I may still do other pages as well in amongst the Christmas pages. So that's kind of what I did here. So that's a spring page. This next one is as well. So this is from Beyond the World Fairy Tale Colouring by Eri, and this is now not her newest book because she's got a new one that's actually come out, but this was the one that actually only came out last year, I think. And I hope the translation is kind of right. I think it is. That's what I've been calling it ever since I've got it. So this was the picture that I did. It ended up being a buddy colour with Anne from Pretty Pages 71, which was really fun. I saw that she was doing the picture on Instagram, and she messaged me and she saw that I had got it on my list to do for April. And yes, it ended up being a buddy colour. I think she's also done this page as well, but hers is gorgeous. I decided just to stick with this page because it was unlikely I was going to be able to get two done. So this was very simple for me to do actually, which I really liked because it was fun and I used some different mediums. So the only other picture that I've done in here is this one, and this is one of the pages I'm most proud of, and this was Prismacolor Holbein and then Kiliro paints and white gel pen. So I wanted to go along the same sort of line, keep the colouring quite simple but then add loads of the paint, which is exactly what I did. So the background was just the I think it was 2 layers of Prismacolor pencil blended with Zest-It blend, which is a blending solution I think you can only get in the UK, but it's really good and it actually gives a flat effect, so it looks not really like pencil. It is quite flat to the point where from far away you may think it is paint, and I really like that effect because it takes away all of the pencil texture. So to embellish it, once I'd done the background and I'd actually coloured what I wanted with pencil, so the chicks, the backgrounds of the eggs and things like that, I went over with the paints, the Kiliro Fine Tech paints, and then I went over with my acrylic paint markers from Graby. These are excellent and I really do like these, and I've been using them loads, not just on this picture but a lot anyway. So I used them to outline most things, so all of the flowers, the actual eggs themselves, and I really like the effect of these. And it was fun because I was just outlining stuff and it didn't take very long. The outlining was the bit that took the longest, but the overall page hardly took any time at all. And then I outlined some things in white gel pen as well. So that was kind of the process. I did my pencil, which wasn't very much. Went over with the paint, went over with the paint pens, did the outlining. So it was a very just kind of mindless page to do once the actual colouring bit had, you know, had been done, which is what I really liked about this, because yes, it's a mixed media page, hasn't really buckled, it wouldn't have bothered me that much if it had, but I still really like the effect and it didn't take that long. So it's quite a nice cheap way, I guess, of getting a nice result and it not taking too long. And that was actually the same thing with this picture. This picture is a lot more detailed, but it was still the same. The outlining took the longest part. I have a tutorial for how I did the dress, but the actual pencil work, once I'd done the background and the dress, there wasn't that much. So yeah, I think that's what I'll continue to do in this book, because I don't use mixed media that much, and I use my fine tech paints all the time, but I don't use them, you know, in large proportions like I have on this picture. So it's really fun to do. And yeah, thank you for buddy colouring with me, Anne. Your picture was lovely and I loved seeing it. So that is that one. And I've been meaning to get around to that book for a while as well, so it was good to do that page. So then I have a buddy colour that I did with Michelle, and I was really excited to do this picture, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. We'd planned it to get it done by the end of April, and I got it done at the start. So this was the picture. So this was a really nice page to do because obviously it's not Easter, so it was a little bit different, something where I could use a different colour palette in amongst all of the spring sort of things that I've been doing. So this safari theme page was the section of the book that I hadn't really done any pictures in. I've been quite good actually going through this. I've got a couple of nature pages and things like that. I've got the sea life page that I've done with the turtle, but this one was really great to do, and I got to use some lovely yellow hues and like lime greens and things like that. So it was one that didn't take too long. Once I really got stuck into it, didn't take that long, and I was motivated seeing Michelle's picture as well because hers was so gorgeous. And I used, oh my goodness, what did I use? Oh, Brute Funa pencils. So I tend to use them a lot in this book, actually. If I get my turtle one as an example, this was all Brute Funa pencils. And I find, even though I haven't got them in a case, having just that set and just trying to use it, I like challenging myself just to use one set, because in most other books and pages that I do, I mix my sets, and it's been quite unusual this month where I've only stuck with one set for most pages. So yeah, experimented with those a lot, and I went over with white gel pen. That was the only embellishment, along with a few of the paint markers that I just showed, just to do the clouds. I also find on certain pencils my Arteza white gel pens don't work as well, so the paint pen did save me there. I haven't tried the Arteza paint pens yet, but they may be a good alternative when I've got kind of a waxy surface with the pencils and the gel pen doesn't want to work. So yeah, if you have used those, I would really appreciate it if you could let me know what you think of them. And then yeah, I just embellished after it, but again, I use fine liners quite a lot. I did a base of fine liner for the whole of the tree, not the trunk bit, just all of the leaf bits, and then went over with pencil, which saves so much time. And yeah, as I said, the rest of it just didn't take that long because I was keeping it a limited colour palette, and I'm really, really pleased with it. And if you are intimidated by this book, I know I am every time I work in it and just looking at the pages, just breaking it down section by section I found really helped. So I started with the sky, did the tree, did the foreground with the water, did the background with the like sandy ground, and then I was only left with the animals. And I think what kind of overwhelms people, which I definitely found, was that because the line art's quite thick, it can sometimes look a lot more detailed than it actually is, because it kind of is so bold. But yeah, I just found breaking it down was a lot easier rather than working from one side to the other. You know, you start filling things in and then it gets a lot easier. And the fact that it's a circular design as well, I really like. So yeah, that was that page. And again, Michelle, your page was beautiful, and we went for similar colours actually for some things. But yeah, it was nice to get back to this book as well. I hadn't done one for at least, I want to say like 9 months or something, so that was really good to get back to. So then I have the Doming's postcards, and I have seen from various people that this book is actually coming out in Japanese, so you can get it on Amazon Japan very soon. Now, I said several times with this, when I bought it, I accidentally bought it from a scamming website, the PDF, and printed them out. So I like the fact that it's a smaller format. I really, really do like them like this. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to get the book yet, because I think I'll just continue working in this. It might be nice to have the book anyway, but I don't think there's any need for it at the moment, but we'll see. I've done 2 pages in this so far. I did this one ages ago, the Alice in Wonderland one. That was, I think, July. And then the one that I did recently was this one. And this is the Peter Pan one. I did actually have this on my list for wanting to colour in April. And I did get round to it, which was very fun. I'm glad that I managed to. This was pretty much an evening colouring. I think I started a little bit of it a couple of days before and then just finished it. In hindsight, maybe I could have spent a little more time on certain bits, but I'm happy with it. I'm not too fussed. The Alice in Wonderland one was one that hardly took any time either. That's the only reason why I'm slightly considering getting the book, because the paper would be better quality. But you know, this is just really cheap card, and we'll see. I'll see what other people think about it, because I have only done 2 pages, and yeah, maybe a possibility. But I love the illustrations, so very, very happy that it is coming out. I can't find the place to put it back now. Here we go. So I used Black Widow pencils for this, and I tend to just use them. They do work well on this this card actually. I just got it from Poundland and it's pretty good. And then I back them with some card that kind of matches the pictures. So I used the reference image and pretty much did what it had. I tried to replicate it as close to the image as possible, and that's what gives me the inspiration, because there are definitely things on here that I wouldn't have coloured the way I did if it wasn't for the reference, which again gets me out of my comfort zone a bit. So the only thing, I feel like the blue is maybe a little bit bright, but then it is very similar to this one. I just feel like it stands out quite a lot. But I really like experimenting with new palettes and trying something new. And the only embellishments I use on these are white gel pen. So that is that one. So then I have a picture from Mein Frühlingsspaziergang by Rita Berman. Unfortunately, I didn't complete a page of Mein Reise durch Europa this month. I did start one. This was the picture that I was focusing on though, because it was a spring Easter page. And I started it when we were away in Devon, finished it a couple of days after we got back, but it wasn't very detailed and I hardly had to use any colours for it. So it was a really good one to do because I didn't have to think too much about colours, and I did take my Black Widow pencils and a few luminants with me, but it was good to just have a couple of colours for this picture. And it's my first page in this book and I'm really pleased with it. And this one, if you haven't been with me for a while, is inspired by the colour palette that I did for my butterfly, for Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, the start of my second copy. And I first got the inspiration to do this colour palette when I was searching butterflies for a picture that I did in Menuet de Bonheur ages and ages ago, probably 2018, and saw this butterfly and loved it. So this has kind of been the colour palette that I always fall back on if there's a butterfly in a page and I want it to stand out, because it's a colour palette that I wouldn't usually do. It's bright, you know, it's a gradient from blue to purple to orange to yellow, and I don't use yellow and orange enough really in the kind of bright colours that they are here, so really good to experiment. The bit that was really therapeutic actually was just the background, because I just did a light layer of the purple, I think it was the bruise colour from the Dragon set, which I love, and then just burnished and just blended with a blender pen just to get rid of any pencil marks, and no shading or anything on the background, which was really fun to do. And I like the solid effect of the background. I think sometimes when I've done blended backgrounds in the past, they just take away from the image because everything else is blended, but so is the background. Whereas with this, I really do like the solid effect. So I think I'll be doing that a lot more in future, just using either one colour or two colours max, if I'm going for the sort of effect that is. Just so that the actual things in the image stand out more. So yeah, I've literally just got blue, purple, orange and yellow, and then within that I've got the pink for the cherry blossom flowers. I do have a colour combination written down for these, and I will be doing a joint March and April colour combinations, because I didn't have that many for April, and also just due to time I haven't managed to get around to doing the March ones, so you'll be seeing that after my haul video at some point. But yeah, they're really simple to do and very fun to do, and again, the thing that took the longest out of that was the outlining. So yeah, embellishments wise, I used the white gel pen and a gold jelly roll metallic on all of the dots, and then also on these circles here I outlined them in white gel pen, but I first put a base of the Stardust paint from Clara Fine Tech. So I did all the embellishments when I came home because I didn't actually have the paint. But yeah, it's a very fun one, and I'm so chuffed with it because I've been wanting to get around to this book for such a long time. I cannot tell you. I originally bought this book probably 2018. Didn't get round to it because some of the pages were the same as the All Four Seasons book. So I thought, well, if I've got that book, I might as well work in that. And then when I collected each of these individually, because some of the pictures that I've coloured in the Four Seasons book, you know, aren't really my style anymore, and I did them quite a few years ago, I thought, well, you know, if I buy them all individually, I'll start working this again, maybe redo some of the pictures in the actual book because there's more pictures, and just completely gravitated towards this page. I love it, and I don't think it was in the Four Seasons book, so I'm very happy to have done that. The other one that I really like that I'd like to do is this one, which isn't in the which wasn't in the Four Seasons book. It is also in the winter one because she repeats the first page of the book after it at the end of the previous book. So that's also in that, but I think it's reversed. Oh no, sorry, it's these ones that are reversed, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, that's one I really like, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to get round to another picture in here, because I might start working on the summer one. Depends how I'm feeling. There are a lot of lovely pictures in here, but I do need to focus on my Resideki Europa when I have a moment to finish my whip. So the last picture I have, oh, and did I mention for that? I don't think I did. I used Black Widow pencils again for that picture. Yeah, the last picture I have is from Clara Markova's I Believe in Fairies colouring postcards. So chuffed that I managed to get around to a page in this, because I'm focusing on this on my Resideki Europa. So the picture that I did was this one. I have colour combinations written down for a few of these things. Definitely the bird, maybe a couple of other things. The thing is with this, I use luminance exclusively, which was a nice challenge for me, but I don't tend to use just one set. So I either need to try and remember what pencils I used, which will be quite easy because I didn't use that many. Maybe I did write. I think I might have written down what I used for the flowers and the strawberry, actually. I'll have to check, but yeah, if not, I apologise. I've written down what I've written down and it might be quite hard to go back. Anyway, this one, as I said, was all luminance, a challenge for me because I don't have all of the luminance pencils yet, so I only have about half of them. I've been buying them open stock, and yeah, it's a really nice challenge to just try and do that. I was not really inspired by any particular colour palette. I was just searching things up, and I was inspired by an Emma Bridgewater teapot that had sort of these colours on with the pinks and the berries and the green. I didn't want it to be absolutely white, so I gave it sort of this tanned colour, and realised when I finished it, it was actually quite a similar colour palette to the Valentine's Day picture that I did, and I really like that because they go well together. So this was just mainly pink / red, brown and green, and then a little bit of yellow that sort of goes with the brown. So quite a limited colour palette, but I used the colours that I had and tried to kind of go to the full extent of either end of the colours, red to pink, and then the brown sort of goes into the yellow as well. So it's a great challenge, and I used some of my Fine Tech paints, Jelly Roll Glaze, Jelly Roll Gold paint, and then instead of the Stardust paint from Kalira Fine Tech, I used the Stardust paint from Rebecca at the Art Spirits, which is so sparkly. I love it. I'm sure if you can see a bit up there, and yeah, and also some fine liners. So yeah, very, very fun one to do, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm happy that I've got another one completed, and the fact that it goes really nicely with this as well, I like that. So what I've done 13 now in this book, and really pleased with how that turned out. So whether I get around to another one in May, we'll see. But yeah, they are all my completed pages. I'm just going to put the books to the side, and then I will share with you what I hope to colour in May. Okay, so I'm going to start with Minor Resideki Europa. So not sure how many pages I'm going to be able to get around to in May. Definitely not a lot in the first part, but half term's right at the end of May, and study leave and stuff, I might actually have some time. But I'll start with this because this is definitely a whip that I want to get done. It's probably what I'll be working on over the next couple of weeks, also exams. So it is this one. I was hoping to do it in April, but as I said, the picture that I did in the spring book by Rita Bowman was what I focused on. But I have started it briefly. I've done the background, which is exactly the same as this picture, and then I've started with the cat. So I'm doing the what I assume to be the male cat in a darker grey, but with more black shading. And then I've already done the girl cat in a lighter grey with an undertone of pink. So I haven't finished the left cat yet. I've just started putting layers in, and that's all I've done. I've got all of the colours written down for this. I can't remember if I've already shared them. I don't think I have. So they will be, in fact, no, because I did this in March, didn't I? So they will be in my March colour combinations. And because the colour combinations are exactly the same on this page, I probably won't have much more to add. I might include how I colour the houses in the sky and stuff, but that'll probably only be the newer thing added. So yeah, that's a whip that I'm hoping to continue with and definitely finish. My aim as well with this, because I want to try and get as many pictures done as possible. There are some really nice spring kind of flowery pictures that are less detailed. We're going away to France in the summer, so I'll probably focus on the France section then. But things like this, where they're not too detailed, they're just little images, you know, things like this will be really good to hopefully do. And I really like this one as well. So things like that I'll probably focus on a little bit more to get more pages done. But yeah, that's the whip. And then my I Believe in Fairies postcards, obviously I did manage to get round to one in April. So if I don't get round to one in May, it's not the end of the world. I would like to do one of the spring or summer pictures, and I really like this macaron page, so that could be a potential picture. I've just done strawberries on the other ones, probably won't do that one. I love the cupcake one, but I don't want to ruin it. And then all of the others are winter, although there are some in the winter and autumn sections which could easily just be, you know, still summery. Like this one, I could just do a dark background for it. That could be fun. So yeah, really any in that one. And then I've started a whip in The Flower Year by Layla Dooley, and this is my brand new copy, and I'm actually doing something really fun with my mum. I'll show you her picture in a sec. So one of her favourite pages that I've ever done was the nameplate page in this book that I originally did in my original copy, and now that I've got a new copy, I decided it'd be really fun to do like partial buddy colours with her. So she's got her own copy, and I know she really likes this book. So I have started the nameplate page, and we actually did a buddy colour together, and I tried to remember as best I could how I did this peacock butterfly, and kind of did a tutorial with her. So I coloured a bit and then she did, and we used the same colours, and hers is amazing, so I'll show it to you in a moment. So this one is mine, and it turned out pretty much the same as my first copy, so I'm very pleased about that. So I'm hoping to finish this and continue it in May. If I don't get it done, that's fine. The thing I am conscious of though is that my other copy is pretty much battered to the point where I think the cover could come off, especially at the spine. So I'm just going to be really careful with this. I do want to take it to Devon, but I'm worried that it's going to get ruined, especially at the corners, because it's quite, I think the cover's made out of paper. So yeah, I'm just a little bit worried about that. So we'll see. I'm not entirely sure yet, and I will probably, like my last copy, work in it month by month. But I just want to take my time a lot more with this and actually not worry too much about how many pictures I did, because I think sometimes in my old copy that did overwhelm me a bit, and I felt like I needed to get loads of pictures done when actually these pictures are so detailed and realistic. I'd rather just spend time on them. I mean, this alone, going through it with my mum, probably took about an hour and a half, so it was fun to just focus on that bit of the picture, and then everything else will just follow when I have time. So that is mine, and I'm just going to grab my mum's one to show you. So this is hers, and it's not ideal that I can't put them exactly up close to each other, but this one's hers, and yeah, they are pretty much the same. I think she did such a good job, especially since you know, trying to make things look realistic is really difficult, and I definitely know I didn't get mine completely accurate to the picture, but I absolutely love hers, and we just used white gel pen as an embellishment. So I think what I'm going to do is probably carry on with my picture in my own time, and then we'll just, whenever we colour together, she'll colour in this and I'll colour in in mine, and it doesn't really matter if we're not necessarily doing the same picture, but that was really fun to do. So that is that one. Really happy to have finally started in that book as well. And then I've got The Miniature Enchanted Forest by Joanna Bassford. This will be in my haul, and I love Enchanted Forest. I wanted to get the miniature one because it's so much easier to travel with, and also I wanted this book to be more of a relaxing type of book where I'm challenging myself just to use the Faber-Castell Classic pencils. I used to use them so much of the time, and I really, really do like them, and they work great in this book. And so the whip I have is this squirrel page. This is one that I haven't done before in my original copy, and yeah, I just used Faber-Castell Classics. I think I used a couple of colours for the background and then maybe 4 or 5 for the squirrel. I'm really, really happy with it, and the fact that they're, you know, cheaper budget pencils means I do try and layer more with them because they're slightly harder, but I like doing that, and I don't mind doing that, especially since I'm actually pleased with the results. So I'm looking forward to continuing with this. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to. I don't know what colour I want to do the background bit yet, which is what I'm struggling with at the moment. I'm thinking maybe a light brown, not the same sort of brown as this, but maybe like a taupe sort of coffee colour. I'm not sure, because I want it to tie in with this because everything else will be green pretty much. So that's where I'm at the moment with that. And then I am also going to be doing a buddy colour with a lovely subscriber that got in contact with me, and yeah, we're going to do, I think, the title pages of our books. So the Miniature Enchanted Forest one has a slightly different title page to the original Enchanted Forest, but we thought it would be fun to just do you know, our own ones at the same time as the buddy colour. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that with her. Whether I'll get round to it in May, I'm not sure, because I would quite like to finish my squirrel first, but I hope that's okay if it takes me a little bit of time. But it's such a gorgeous book, and it's so small. It's even smaller than a Rita Berman book, and it was £5 on Amazon as well. And the thing that I love, you see the difference in size there, the thing that I love about Joanna's miniature books is that the quality of the books is exactly the same as the quality of her other books, and I really like the French flaps. The binding as well is excellent. It's still stitch and glue bound, and that was something that wasn't the same with the miniatures from Millie Marotta. They were just glue bound, and the pages, some of them were kind of stuck together. So the quality of this is really good. The paper is just amazing. So yeah, love that. So next we have the Wild Mouse Yuru's Journey sketchbook, and I have a buddy colour lined up to do with Kathy, and again, I'm very excited to do this. I'd mentioned that I was going to do a couple of pages. I was either going to do this one next, or ooh, no, it's not that one, this one. And so we went for this one to do as a buddy colour, which is going to be great because some of the colours will be the same as what I did here, and also some of the colours will probably be the same as what I did on this picture. I need to figure out how I'm going to colour this character, because there are specific colours that have been used. But yeah, this one will probably take me quite a while. Again, we haven't really given ourselves a specific time frame. I'm not sure if Kathy started hers yet, but I'm looking forward to, hopefully, because I didn't get around to a picture in this month, in April, which is fine because I knew I had this one planned, but this will be again another fun one to do, and I'll probably start with the flowers and things because I know what colours I want them to be, and then work my way through it. And I love this book. It'd be nice to get back to it, and there are some amazing pages to do for this, you know, spring summer sections. So that is that one. So I've obviously got the 3 whips that I've just shown you and that one. All of these are kind of, sorry, well, all of these, I say all of these, there's 3 more. These 3 are kind of just extras if I manage to get around to them. So those 4, ideally I would like to, oh no, the Clara one wasn't a whip. Ideally I'd like to do all of those and more if possible. So these are kind of the extras if I manage to do them. So I haven't got any specific pages picked out, but I would really like to do a page in Mein Frühling Spaziergang or Mein Sommer Spaziergang, because if I get the picture done in Mein Reise durch Europa, then it'd be lovely to do another Rita picture, because I love her books. Yeah, there are loads of lovely spring pictures in here that aren't necessarily Easter themed. I love this tree one. And yeah, that house one I really like as well. So, you know, some of them are Eastery, and, you know, now that we've had Easter, I probably wouldn't do them. But there are so many in here that I love. But yeah, it's just whether I choose one from here or one from the summer book, because the thing about the summer one, I think I've mentioned before, I ended up getting a spare copy of it because Amazon sent me one that was slightly damaged at the corner. And when I was going to return it, they just said keep it. So I've got a spare copy that I'm going to give to my cousin Rosie when we see them in half term, which will be the end of May, so technically won't be in my completed pages for May. I thought it would be really fun if we did a buddy colour or something if she'd like to. So it may be that I do a page in June in this book instead. But again, the pictures in this are just stunning. Something like this would be perfect for this time. Some of them are more summer based, you know, beach scenes and things like that, but we are heading into May, and to be honest, once Easter passes, everything kind of rolls into one, doesn't it? I love things like this, the sort of ribbon designs, the fact that it all just merges into one. I love that sort of thing. But there are so many, you know, potential pages in both of the books, or even something more simple like this. But yeah, I'm just toying with, do I keep this book like empty until Rosie and I work in it, or whether I start something, even something small like this. So we'll see. They are potential books. And then the last book I have is a new book to me. This is the Nature Mandalas book by Melpomene Chatsapanaghitu. She's the same illustrator that did Circle of Life, and I was very kindly sent this by Sue, and I love it. It is so detailed, but again, like I said with Circle of Life, in the best possible way. You know, it is really intimidating, but you feel that satisfaction when you do a picture. They're one-sided as well, so I am considering, do I use markers? Thing is, with markers, with it being so detailed, I'm just worried that I wouldn't be able to get the precision that I want. But I'll definitely be using fine liners, and they don't bleed through anyway. This is one of my favourite pictures. I love it. I love colouring mushrooms. It's just whether I start with that one or do something a little bit more simple. Now I said that, they are all pretty detailed. Some of these are full mandalas. Some of them are repeated around, and then you have a scene in the middle, which I really like. But even then, you know, they're only repeated sort of 4 times, most of them. And then you have ones like this where it is a mandala, but then you have different images, which I really like. So something like these feathers would potentially be something a little bit less daunting. So I haven't fully decided what I will start with. But yeah, due to time, it may be that I just don't get around to these last couple of books that I've shown you. Because I really wanted to get around to working this in the Easter holidays, but I was working on the Circle of Life picture, so I didn't get round to it. But that's slightly less detailed as well. But as a way I'm thinking of doing this, maybe, is doing like pastel as a base, going over with pencil, just to eliminate a bit of kind of time and having to do bases with pencils with everything being so detailed. I haven't fully kind of figured out how I'm going to go about it, but yeah, you'll definitely be seeing this book in the next couple of months if I don't get around to it in May. So that's everything that I have to share with you. Some whips, some pictures that I would like to do. And yeah, obviously my completed pages. So thank you again for your feedback last month that, you know, not minding that my completed pages and what's in my colouring bag video were going to be merged into one. It will be quite a long video now. Apologise for that, although I always like watching long videos, so yeah, I don't mind making them long as people enjoy watching them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to actually be doing a video again after a while. I mean, I don't think I've actually filmed a video since my haul video, because the other ones have been, you know, just clips here and there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.